and you might survive.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Mr. Chuckles here, and today I've got some gameplay for you on Memento. I am playing Clash, and I'm using the Suros Regime and the Thesan fusion rifle, and I'm playing my Sunbreaker Titan, and my exotic armor piece is the Empyrean Bellicose. You will see me utilize that exotic perk quite a bit this game. I happen to get 31 kills. Also, this week in the Crucible, I don't know what it is, but I swear people are taking stupid pills. Check this out. This guy is low. I just saw his health flashing red. He goes to re-engage when this guy had over twice of his health. And then not only does he get himself killed, but he gets me killed because he walks in front of my bullets. As you guys saw in the last game too, people constantly kept walking in front of my primary bullets. I don't know what it is this week. This isn't even Iron Banner, but people are constantly walking in front of each other. And they need to know when to engage and when to disengage, because sometimes when you make stupid plays like that, you'll do more than just get yourself killed. You can get your teammates killed, you can lose objectives, etc. And the one thing I've always told you, you cannot shoot through your teammates. So make sure you're never walking directly in front of somebody if you're in a gunfight. It's one thing if you're traveling around and like defending an objective, but don't sit directly in front of the other. Keep a little bit of spacing, and then you can still work together. So the Empyrean Bellicose, what that does, it has basically the Angel of Light perk that these Sunsingers have. For those of you that don't know what that is, basically what that does is whenever you ready your weapon or ADS while in the air, it'll actually hold you in place. So it's kind of a unique tactic that's really fun to use. It's really underrated too. It's not Blink, obviously. It's not as strong as like Blink was. But the cool thing is it adds like a new play style, and a lot of people don't know how to really play against it. I would say the biggest weakness is if you're going up against a good sniper, I would get your ass down behind cover because they will just pop your head off whether you're sitting on the ground or whether you're in the air. So that's like the only thing I would watch out for when using this. But if people are using primaries, it's actually really fun. If you go through and you slide, you'll actually see it later, and then jump around and then jump up in the air and just hold your weapon and shoot from the air. You really throw people off and they don't actually know what to do or kind of how to fight back against it. So here, I'm playing a little bit more up in people's faces for the simple fact that I'm running an auto rifle and a fusion, both of which excel at close range and medium range. I don't really have anything for long range weapons, so I have to basically be in their face 24/7. Actually, the thing that has the most amount of range that I'm using is probably my hammer, but I want to get as many kills as possible when using that, so here's what I was telling you about. Drop the grenade, jump in the air. Because I was constantly moving, and people's instincts are to always go for the head, that guy just missed 5 shots on me because I slid and then jumped up to the right, and then he had to reload. And because he had to reload, I was able to capitalize on that and then just kill him with my auto rifle. Also, in the air, there's the Icarus perk, gives you improved accuracy while in the air. The Suros doesn't actually have that on, but you can get it on a lot of legendary gear. The two weapons that it affects the most and gives the most amount of accuracy to are auto rifles and fusion rifles. So if you want to be using a weapon while using the Empyrean Bellicose, I'd highly recommend using an auto rifle or a fusion rifle. I personally think auto rifles are better. Fusion rifles I'd rather land on the ground to make sure I land the full burst, because if you miss even one part of the burst, or 3 of the 7 pieces that projectiles that shoot out, then you will usually not end up getting the kill. The problem I have with auto rifles though, a lot of people have said that the Suros Year 2 version with the wind-up perk is one of the better primaries in the game. And I personally disagree. I'm not saying that they're wrong, but I've had success with it, and I've been able to use auto rifles, and been able to put up some high kill numbers, and out-duel people. But I honestly believe it's more of a skill battle. I believe scout rifles, pulse rifles, and even legendary hand cannons are still better than auto rifles. Whatever they did to auto rifles, well, I know what they did, but I don't think it was enough. I don't know what needs to be tweaked. It's a small tweak, whatever it is, just to make them a little bit more viable. Because I have a legendary hand cannon that just has hidden hand on it, and a true sight IS with like no range perks, and it's only at half stability, and it's 10 times better than any auto rifle that I use. And I've even got auto rifles with counterbalance, but because of the range drop off and the absolute terrible recoil on it, even with counterbalance, I have a hard time getting people unless you're like shotgun or fusion rifle distance. And so I would like to see something change to auto rifles to make them a little bit more usable in competitive play. If you're playing something like a 6v6, just like a Clash or regular control match, then it's not a big deal. It's actually not even too big of a deal in a skirmish match. But if you're playing like Trials of Osiris, then it's going to put you at a huge disadvantage, unless you're just an absolute monster and all you use is auto rifles. But that's the one thing that I would have to complain about auto rifles. Like I said, I would like to see them tweaked a little bit. And even though shot package is gone, any high impact shotgun like the Conspiracy Theory D or the Year 2 Party Crasher still has a pretty good decent impact and a decent range just because of the base range with rifled barrel too. It's still going to be hitting you from pretty far away, and it's pretty easy for you to lose that trade if they're good at if they have a good CQC, that just means close quarters combat, they have a good awareness while they're basically up close and personal. They probably will win that engagement. So here, I'm kind of just pushing around the back. Like I said, I have to be all up in their face because of the guns that I'm using. Here, I'm utilizing the perk. Of course, I know at this point that there's no snipers, so I'm no longer worried about being in the air 24/7. I'm just going to keep jumping around to mess with people. And I'm pretty much just following my team around. We're actually pushing the spawns a lot more than I usually would. I usually like to let them just basically funnel through one choke point, and it's super easy to pick up kills. But I felt like playing a little bit more aggressive this game just for the hell of it. I really needed 6 auto rifle kills because I was working on the Crucible quest line to unlock the weekly Crucible bounties. I still needed to finish that on my Titan, because I actually haven't finished it at all. And once I finish on the Titan, it'll then unlock on the rest of my classes. So that's actually why I was using the auto rifle, and I figured, you know, while I'm using it, I should probably just upload a game for you guys talking about auto rifles and how I feel about them. I'm sure I'll probably do this with every weapon type, just get some a hand cannon game up just to show you that they still are viable and that they still are fun to use. And of course, you guys know scout rifles and pulse rifles are honestly the better 2 primaries right now. But I'll probably do this, like I said, with each weapon class just for fun and just to kind of give my opinions and thoughts on it. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're 100% right or that that's what you need to think. That's just me sharing my insight on my perspective on how they work in the Crucible and how effective I believe they are. I definitely need to get a better machine gun, though. This one, it's great, but I need to probably use my Rune Wake more often than this one. I think I was just using this because it's the highest light level that I have for Iron Banner. I'll probably be doing a little guide for Iron Banner, too, later in the week, or just upload some gameplay talking about positioning and how when you're playing solo or in a small fire team, just the best way that you guys can move around the map. If there's one thing I would stress, I actually had somebody ask me this the other day, if there's one thing that I would say that any player could work on to make themselves better, it would be positioning. As you guys can see, I'm never really sitting in one spot. A lot of games you'll see me hold down areas, but I'm never firing from the same location. I never just make myself predictable. Being unpredictable is the biggest threat you can be in any sort of game mode, no matter what you're playing, whether it's Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner, or regular Clash or Control match. People could argue all day that gunplay is the most important thing, but if you're constantly in people's face, and you don't know what's happening around you, you're going to get killed regardless of how good you are with a gun. If you understand positioning and understand all of the good angles, that'll allow you to work on your gunplay in a safe manner, and still be able to be effective. I would say the ultimate thing is, don't go for how many kills can you get, go for how little times can I die. The less amount of times that you can die, the better. That's ultimately how you can become a better player. That allows you to work on other things like super usage too, and your grenade placement, etc. Positioning and map knowledge is the #1 key to becoming a better player, in my opinion. Alright guys, as always, thanks for watching. Hope you're all having an awesome day, and I'll see you later.